Hi, this is Tom Lombardo from the marketing team here at Crosscheck. 2014 was a banner year for fraud, wasn't it? The municipal bond market fell victim. The home loan market fell victim. Identity theft struck someone every 2 seconds. And of course, the biggest one, the one that affected more people than anything else, credit card fraud. In fact, the US loses more to credit card fraud than the rest of the world combined. It seems like everyone fell victim. Target did. So did Home Depot, despite heroic efforts to learn from Target. Staples got hit. So did Sears. But the worst frauds were against businesses you've never heard of, owned by people like you and me, with fewer resources to recover. And we're not talking about employee theft or crooked bookkeepers. Because 8 out of 10 businesses that experienced attempted or actual payments fraud were targeted by an outsider. And believe it or not, 1/5 of those attempts were the work of organized crime. According to the Association of Financial Professionals, nearly 2 out of 3 fraud attempts would have resulted in losses of up to $25,000. But only 1 out of 5 actually worked. I'll tell you why in a minute, but first I want you to know that this is a plastic seal. And the little guy who ended up on the shark's nose got away. So while there's a lot of fraud, there's a lot of defenses as well. So where is your greatest risk? Generally speaking, credit and debit cards are not your problem because you're not liable. Besides, people use credit cards to make small purchases. If you add them all up nationwide for a year, they're only 3% of the value of all non-cash transactions. When people spend a lot of money, they write checks. In fact, more than 1 out of 5 purchases for over $100 is paid for with a check. According to the Federal Reserve, 1 out of 5 people, from millennials to silents, have increased their use of checks since the recession. In 2012, Americans wrote 18.3 billion of them, and they were worth a staggering $26 trillion, which is 1/3 of the value of all non-cash transactions. Since the recession ended, the average value of a check has ballooned from $1,291 to over $1,400. If that trend continues, by 2020, the average check will be worth more than $1,700. So, it should come as no surprise that, of all the scams tracked by fraud.org, fake checks ranks number 1. And 82% of business owners say check fraud is the most common attempt they encounter. Worse, a bad check costs a lot more than just its face value. Just how much one can hurt you depends on your profit margin. These are national averages. If you're an accountant, you might clear nearly 20%. A dentist or a real estate agent, around 14 or 15. Funeral homes, around 10. Let's use 10% for example. Say someone writes you a check for $1,000 and it bounces. Just to replace that lost $1,000, you need to sell $10,000 worth of goods. The lower your profit margin, the more you have to sell to make up your loss. And that doesn't take into consideration your time, your frustration, and the impact those things might have on your opportunities. Bad checks come in many forms, but by far the most common scam is to alter the routing and account number at the bottom of the check. This is called the Micker line, and it's printed in magnetic ink. So, here's why only 1 in 5 attempts at check fraud worked. 4 of the merchants probably had a remote deposit capture check reader at their point of sale. It will detect a fraudulent Micker line. And as a nice side benefit, it can also allow you to deposit the check right then and there, so there's no need to prepare a statement and go to the bank. And a handwritten check is a more securely verified agreement to pay than any digital method available today. So you and your customer can avoid all the fraud and enjoy life. Even better, if you choose to work with us, you can practically eliminate any risk from accepting checks. That's because we offer a check guarantee service. If you follow the service agreement and we guarantee your customer's check, Your revenue is not affected if the check bounces. There's no claims process, and you don't have to deal with it. No wonder over 10,000 car dealerships and over 20,000 businesses overall, from high-end furniture stores to medical clinics, choose to work with us. Please call today for a free consultation. Thank you for watching this video. We look forward to serving you.